The lack of affordable and accessible housing has affected various segments of the population, such as low-income families, newcomers, seniors, and people experiencing homelessness. In this section, we will explore how these groups are struggling to find adequate homes that meet their needs and what solutions are being proposed to address the housing crisis in N.B. Low-income families are among the most vulnerable to the housing crisis. They rely on federal monthly supplemental security income, SSI, which averages only about $9,156 per year. This is not enough to afford rent in any housing market in the nation. Many low-income families also face discrimination based on their race, religion, sex, disability, or familial status. The Fair Housing Act prohibits such discrimination, but complaints by people with disabilities often make up the majority of cases received by fair housing agencies. Newcomers are another group that faces challenges in finding affordable and accessible housing. They are attracted by the population growth and economic opportunities in NB, but they often encounter barriers such as language, culture, credit history, and employment status. Newcomers also tend to settle in urban areas where housing is more expensive and scarce. They may have to compete with other newcomers and locals for limited housing options. Seniors and people experiencing homelessness are also affected by the lack of affordable and accessible housing. Seniors may have impairments that require specific features or technologies in their homes, such as lowered counters, widened doorways, and will-in showers. However, finding housing with these accessibility features can be difficult, if not impossible or unaffordable. Many seniors also live with aging caregivers who may not be able to provide adequate support or care for them in the future. People experiencing homelessness face multiple challenges in finding and maintaining housing. They may have disabilities, mental health issues, addictions, or other complex needs that require specialized services and supports. They may also face stigma and discrimination from landlords, neighbors, and society at large. Without a stable home, they are at risk of poor health outcomes, violence, and death. The housing crisis in N.B. is being compounded by a lack of labor in the construction industry. According to a New Brunswick economist Richard Salant, the number of people working in construction is declining as the demand for housing continues to increase. He says that a lack of workers will impede other measures intended to address the crisis, such as building more affordable and rural housing units. To resolve the housing crisis in NB, Salant says that addressing the labor supply equation should be the #1 priority. He suggests that increasing immigration, improving education and training, and attracting workers from other provinces are some of the possible solutions. He also says that the government should invest more in infrastructure projects that support housing development and accessibility. Affordable and accessible housing is a critical piece of infrastructure that connects people, companies, and markets. Without it, many segments of the population are cut off from opportunity and prosperity. By addressing the shortage of affordable and accessible housing in NB, we can create a more inclusive and resilient community for everyone.